Hey guys, what's up? It's Garrett out here with the Rotten Rescue, the turd valve, 24 valve or 12 valve. And I've been looking at the wiring a lot more. I finally got it where it'll run and move, so now the next thing is, oh well, what's all this electrical crap that these previous owners have done to this thing? So I'm going to show you a few of those things. And if you watch the last video I posted, you'll notice, or well, you will have seen the disaster that is the wiring under the back of the truck. And I think I figured that they must have run over something and ripped the whole wiring harness off behind the axle, and then they just kind of rebuilt it as they destroyed it over and over again from their back. And that caused some other issues. So first of all, the first time I tried to turn the lights on this thing, pull the switch out halfway for your marker lights and running lights and gauge cluster lights, and I got nothing except the cab lights on top. And they would come on bright, and then they would dim, and then they'd go out, and you'd hear a circuit breaker reset, and then they'd come on again, and just the same shit over and over. But absolutely zero other lights. You turn the switch all the way on, and it really pulls the battery down, and it keeps doing the same thing, but worse. So, I've shown you before, I think, this red wire comes from here in the fuse box area, and what I figured out is that it actually comes down from somewhere on the back of the light switch. I haven't gotten into there yet, and there's two leads. There's one that comes to the fuse box, which when I got the truck it was just like this, okay, not connected to anything. And then there's the other one that comes down and it goes out through the firewall, and as you see I've already cut that, and there's a reason for that. Now that comes out, and I've shown, if you guys watched some of the other videos, it comes, let's see if I can get a good shot. It comes out of the firewall right there with no grommet protection, just bare hole drilled in the steel, sharp edge, nice, well done, whoever did it. It comes up here and it branches off, and from here it goes back down along the frame rail to the back, and right here it goes around. And I know I was complaining about this the other day, and I'll get a better shot than I did the other day though. It splices in right there to, I guess, the running light circuit. I don't know, I haven't pulled the lights out and looked yet, with a Scotch lock and another butt connector, and then again from another wire with a green rat chewed wire around and down and in front of the radiator, between the radiator and the intercooler. Let's see, can you see down there? Yeah, just kind of laying on the radiator support all the way over. And then, oh look, another frickin' butt connector that's not weather tight. And then it turns into a white wire that comes up and goes back behind the battery box and the cavity there behind the headlight. And I'm assuming it splices in to the running light circuit on this side the same way as it did on the other side. So that's a bunch of ridiculousness. They basically just ran their own one wire circuit to run all the running lights off of one leg, and as I suspected, it has got to be shorted out somewhere, and most likely here in the back, where it's really ridiculously stupid. So what I did as a first step of diagnosis is I came in here and I snipped that wire that leads from the switch to everything else outside, and I just put this old nasty, this thing was like in a bucket of water, so the connector is useless. I just crimped it on there to keep it from shorting out on anything. And see back there, the other end of it's fine because it shouldn't be hot. And then I turned the light switch on, and you turn the light switch on, and guess what? I have cab lights that aren't like going on and off and tripping relays and circuit breakers and shit. But I still have no other lights whatsoever. No headlights on either side. No marker lights on that side. Let's see. I haven't checked the bedside clearance lights on the other side, but let's see. No tail light. No tail light. Yeah, no clearance lights. So absolutely nothing. I'm pretty sure that switch was just halfway out, but let me make sure. Yeah, that's all the way out. So I should have all my lights on. Instead, all I've got is cab clearance lights and absolutely nothing else. So, I think what the reason they did this was they messed up the wiring harness back there, and they just did the first few little repairs, and they used regular butt connectors, and well, over time they got some corrosion in there. And this fuse right here next to this is the IOD. The one just to the right of it is a 20 amp mini fuse, and that's your park lights, running lights. Okay, if you look on the back here, you know, you see that shit? This melted off wire. It used to be this pink with a red stripe. Now it's like brown and crusty because it melted. And what it did, I've already stuck the fuse back in there, but it melted the contact in the fuse panel on that. So I guess the reason it did that is because they got corrosion and some repairs they did, and it drew excess amperage all the time, but not enough to actually pop the fuse, or they put a higher value fuse in there than it should have been. Let's see, what is it supposed to be? 15 amp, it's got a 20 amp in it. So that's what it is. It was blowing fuses. They stuck a larger fuse in there and it melted the contact, and then it burned the wire. And they just clipped the wire off and ran their own lead. And it worked for a while until the wiring they made shorted somewhere. So what I've got to do is basically go back and rebuild the entire rear wiring harness properly and fix that crap up front. And then what I will most likely end up doing, because I can't get that contact out of there because it's melted, I'll end up coming back behind here, and as much as I hate to do it, I'll probably splice into the hot lead that feeds it all. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet. I might have to actually use a bullshit ass Scotch lock, even though I hate to do that. And then I'll use a small inline fuse block and then reconnect the wire properly. Because I'm not going to replace the whole wiring harness and fuse block just for one little melted contact. That's stupid. I'll buy a $6 fuse block and, you know, repair it. Dodges were famous for bad wiring to begin with, you know, these older models. So, oh, and another thing, I came back in here this morning and turned the key on to move it back a little bit so I could get the hood open and show you guys that. And turn the key in, all this shit that does work on the dash still comes on, but I turn the key and nothing, not even a click. So I'm like, okay, well, what's the deal? So I reached down and I just moved the wiring harness like that and turn the key and it starts. So there's something else up right here. This, I don't know honestly what it is. It was just a big cut off black wire hanging, and the other wire is actually screwed to the firewall over there, so it's a ground. I did check for continuity on this, or voltage rather, with the key off and in all positions, and there was no voltage. I don't know what it is. If you guys might know, you know, post it in the comments below. I'm grounding it because, I don't know, why not? I put a fuse in there, so if it's not supposed to be grounded, it'll pop the fuse instead of catching fire. And I guess if I have to, I'll get a schematic and, you know, trace it all down. But hopefully one of you guys knows what that black heavy lead is. I can't find any other heavy black lead in the wiring harness anywhere where it would have been cut off of. Like, nothing hanging over here or anything. I mean, there's, of course, more previously spliced shit, and I had to cut a wire out of this vacuum gauge lighting circuit that they had spliced in somewhere else up here, and there's like, let's see, yeah, more bare wire that somebody cut the insulation off of. This truck is, it's a nightmare to most people, but I've honestly seen and repaired worse. So it's not scaring me off. I know what I've got to do. So I guess I'll let you guys know when I get some more done with it and figure out what the hell else is up. At least I've gotten started on troubleshooting, you know. It's probably got a bad light switch, because I know that there's no way every frickin' bulb in the truck is blown but the cab lights. So we'll figure out what's going on. If you like the video, hit the like button down below. If you want to see more of these videos, if you want to follow the story on this thing, subscribe to the channel. Share the video to your other friends, man. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.